Honorable Governor of Nagaland and our most dynamic and esteemed leader of Tamil Nadu, Sri Ila Ganesan. I am indeed honored to receive you in your capacity as a governor. You have attended previews of a few of my films over the last 2 decades. It is very gracious of you to be present on this milestone occasion of my company. I am delighted to welcome the 4 guests of honor, Mr. Tirumurthy, former Indian Ambassador to the United Nations, who I consider as one of the most well-informed and immensely helpful persons abroad during filming of my long TV serials and short films on Southeast Asia, which we shot some 15 years ago. I welcome Sri Sugal Chand Jain, a respected philanthropist and leader in the commercial and financial circles, who has been a good friend over the decades. We had the privilege of filming his biography also. I welcome the celebrated Tamil scholar, and she's not yet here. She's coming. But I'll welcome her in her absence right now. Dr. Sudha Seshayan, who combines the expertise of medical science and Tamil oratory, who keeps you spellbound with her lectures. I also welcome the accomplished musician Nawab Zada Muhammad Asif Ali, son of the Prince of Arcot, His Excellency Nawab Muhammad Abdul Ali, who has been a friend over the decades. We filmed several scenes for some of our TV serials, including Swami Vivekananda, in the palace of the Prince of Arcot, with their very kind permission and cooperation over the years. I convey my regards to all of you, highly respected audience. It is indeed very kind of the representatives of the media who are present here to cover this occasion, and I heartily welcome them all. On my return after studying mass media in America, I wrote a book titled Indian Film on the history of Indian cinema as co-author with Professor Eric Barnow, published by Columbia University Press in 1963. This globally well-acclaimed received book is considered as the pioneering work on the history of Indian cinema, which also analyzed the growing importance of films as instruments of political parties, particularly in Tamil Nadu. In the 1940s, newsreels and documentaries were known as war films. Since Indian cooperation to the British war, seeking Indian cooperation to the British war effort. Since the freedom fighters detested the propaganda, the department which produced these films was closed down by the interim government in 1946. Hence, there was hardly any film coverage of Indian Independence Day except by a few foreign film units. This is when the Government of India founded the Films Division to project government views. This became a monopolistic source of legal means, making it compulsory to screen their films in cinema halls at the beginning of every show. Even as I was writing a film column in the Illustrated Weekly of India, I decided to make my own films in the manner I deemed fit. That resulted in the birth of Krishnaswamy Associates in 1963. After making a few films sponsored by the private and public sectors, I dared to make my first unsponsored film at my own risk. The film called I, that is first person singular, which talked about an Indian born in several births over a period of a few thousand years, as man or woman, and has experienced what India was over the several eras. It won the Special National Award as the best short film made in India the first 25 years of independence. Former Prime Minister I.K. Gujral commented You have made me feel prouder to be an Indian after seeing this film. Although I had the background of my father being a pioneer of South Indian cinema, often referred to as the father of Tamil cinema, I was attracted by the non-fiction format. I was adamant about making a long film on 5,000 years of Indian history. A promise I made to myself and to my motherland in New York before I returned to India. But unfortunately, due to ideological differences, some of my colleagues in the new enterprise left the company. It became very difficult to become a one-soldier-run company. This is when my wife Mona, who was doing her master's degree in biochemistry, extended her hand of cooperation in realizing my dream. I started producing my dream film on 5,000 years of Indian history, titled Indus Valley to Indira Gandhi. I burnt my boat to make this film because it was an uphill task to get any financials for such a film. The film became successful as a result of my hard efforts to sell it to a Hollywood company, Warner Brothers, who distributed it in a very successful fashion. It attracted a huge audience in India, and I managed to sell it to a few other countries, making it a new phenomenon of a private documentary being released theatrically in India. Many of you of the older generation may have seen it. I made strong efforts to sell the television rights to the government of India for almost a year, but in vain. It was only several weeks after the film was released in cinema halls and gained international acclaim, importance because of Warner Brothers, that the government came forward to buy the television rights of Asia. There was a move in the parliament to ban the film because in the meantime emergency had been declared and there was an impression in some members that it was a propaganda film for the emergency declared by Mrs. Gandhi. I will be failing in my duty if I don't mention that the revered leader, now Bharat Ratna, Shri L.K. Advani, Information Minister in Morarji Desai's government, came to my rescue as Mr. Advani took the initiative to see the film along with his friends at a special screening and began to like it. At the end of the show, he commented, "You have made a very great film with a very bad title." I respected Mr. Advani's views, but further developments of a political nature changed that and stopped the repeat telecast of the film over these 4 decades. About 15 years ago, I made a TV serial called Indian Imprints on the impact of ancient India on Southeast Asia, a project which got its approval for telecast on Doordarshan when Mrs. Sushma Swaraj was the information minister. This 18-episode serial, shot in Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, has been very successful, gathering a large audience to understand India's relationship with the rest of Asia over the centuries. A history chapter which has not been included in our school and college syllabus and hence became a revealing aspect of history. My daughter Lata Krishna joined me in 1990. She imbibed my passion for non-fiction films and has overtaken me in my capacity to produce them. In the meantime, we have produced over these years about 600 and odd titles of non-fiction films and about 400 episodes of entertainment television. As the executive director of the company in the last decade, under her leadership, under Lata's leadership, the 3 films of KPL, as we should call our name in short, have been shown in international festivals extensively and won awards, Indeed, every generation must be brighter than the previous one for the advancement of humanity as a whole. Two of our important serials, Visalam and Swami Vivekananda. Visalam, a original script of a Tamil family over a period of 100 years, from 1900 to 2000. And Swami Vivekananda, the life of the greatest saint of India. Both written by me, have been directed by my daughter Geeta Krishnaraj. I thank all the technicians, artists, and the entire team of KIPL who have been part of our journey over these years. I am deeply grateful to our government under the internationally undisputed, respected leadership of Honorable Shri Modi ji for honoring me with the V. Shantaram Lifetime Achievement Award for documentary films during the Mumbai International Film Festival a few years ago. Nothing is more gratifying than to know that the legacy carries on, and in that sense, I have immense joy in announcing that the fourth generation in filmmaking, my eldest granddaughter, Kamini, who studied filmmaking in Prague in the Czech Republic, is now directing her first Tamil feature film, details of which will be announced in the press soon. With these words, I welcome you all, patrons of art and cinema, for your presence, and pray that as a team we sustain the enthusiasm and momentum of this company. Thank you all so very much.